And now moving on to the next speaker, Dr. Muhammed Muzzamil Cader from Sri Lanka. He has studied and done a diploma in human relations and international development from the Canada World University. He's the writer, poet, creative thinker. He is the head of the Human Rights Department of the South Asian Academy for Good Governance and is the Secretary General of the People's Assembly of Sri Lanka. He's a consultant on non-violent conflict resolution, peace builder and human rights activist. And he also is leading an organization called Samadhana M, which works to form non-violent societies all over the country. He has been awarded the title of Desh Kirti in Sri Lanka, which means bringing honor to the nation. So please, Dr. Muzzamil.
Thank you very much for that. Distinguished guest, respectable sadhus, ladies and gentlemen. The world we live, we have seen. It is wonderful. It is beyond imagination how the Creator, the God, created this world and the entire universe. The vegetation, the landscape, the ocean, the mountains are so beautifully created. To bring in more beauty, the Creator has created the living creatures, including the humans. Altogether, make this world a beautiful place for living. This beauty needs to be safeguarded and developed. To make this happen, we have to live a life not of our choice, but as commanded by the Creator, the God Almighty. He has commanded the humans to lead a perfect life according to His commands that will make his or her life in this world and the world hereafter a place beautiful and a peaceful one. One of the most important commands of God is to lead a life according to the vows that he or she has made. Every human being has given a vow to God, accepting Him as the Almighty and that He is supreme, that He has no successor, that He is alone and none can be compared to Him. To this soul, God set out a code of conduct based on vows, detailing the ways he or she should live in this world. If each one of us, according to this conduct, live, this world would be a more beautiful place to live in. This entirely depends upon ourselves. God wants each one of us to lead a life based on faithfulness. Faithfulness to the faith of God that each one has accepted according to his or her understanding. So according to this person's understanding, he should be faithful to his faith that he has given vow to the God. Secondly is to be obedience and submission to the will of God. That will bring in humbleness within a person. Next, truth. That includes honesty and trustworthiness. Next one is to lead a life of rightness, that we will follow the right path, spread, cultivate love and compassion, cultivate the habit of forgiveness, non-commitment to any form of harm or violence, and cultivate the habit of giving in charity. To lead such a life, it is important that we, to ourselves, make vows. It is important to remember that vows are sacred promises. They reflect a life orientation and profound loving commitment. As such, it is important that we choose to make vows that are small and capable of fulfilling, or else we will end up breaking sacred promises that will have grave consequences. Today, most of us go against the vows of being faithful to God. Most of us think that we are supreme and things are happening because of our knowledge, because of our skills, because of our imagination. How much of us realize that there is a divine power behind all our acts, either it be small or big? If we commit to this vow of accepting God as Almighty and things happen with His will, then we would become faithful to God and His faith. Then we become faithful to His creations. We can then see things happening in the right way to make this world even a beautiful place to live. This is connected to be obedient and submission to the will of God. Nothing happens beyond His will, and only if we accept this truth and make a vow to be obedient and be submissive to Him, we could witness a prosperous living. To bring this into life, we should firmly vow to be truthful. This does not only include speaking the truth alone. All our acts should be truthful. It starts from the rightful thinking, imaginations, words, and acts. The actions are very important. It covers huge area like the body language, dealing in public and private life, be it be with your spouse and children or the neighbors. Without leading a life of forgiveness, rightness, we cannot even think that truth will thrive. As such, it is important to make a vow to do the right thing on daily basis. Love and compassion can transform a person's life from a worse situation to a good one. Most people today need love and compassion. A lot of people suffer from the lack of love and compassion and have become sick and depressed. Many have committed suicide for want of love and compassion. It is important, even in a small way, we commit to give love and compassion to every person that we meet in our journey of life. It is not necessary that we should know him or her. What is important is that we make one's life a pleasant one by showering our love and compassion on another. We can see the miracle of this action and can be happy that God has given a chance to make the life of another person a pleasant one. Love and compassion will open the doors for forgiveness. In the absence of love and compassion, forgiveness will not work. If each one of us can make a will to forgive, can make a will to be of forgiveness, the world will be splendid, that will function with non-violence. Forgiveness is of two kinds. One is to forgive a person who has done something wrong to you. In this instant, you should be the first person to forgive him and not to wait until he comes and asks you to forgive. Secondly, is that you ask to be forgiven for something you have done to another person and not wait until he says, I will forgive you. This will make you a supreme character who will make things happen in the way the Creator likes to see things happening. If people sideline you and move away from you, it is important you get closer to that person and try to be together. We will then see a world of unity devoid of hate and anger. The world needs a violent-free environment. Violence of all forms need to be ended. This can become possible only through commitment to be non-violent. This has to happen in many ways. The way we think, the way we speak, the way we act should be of total non-violence. It is the only way for sustainable peace. If all of us can make a vow to be of non-violent in our day-to-day life, we could see a world prospering towards peace, harmony, and coexistence. Ladies and gentlemen, we therefore see a combination of many things. Into this combination, the act of charity needs to be added. We should commit or vow to give in charity on a daily basis, even in a small way, something to someone that will make him or her happy. This should start from our children. We need to teach them to give something to someone daily. This something may be even a broad smile, or helping one to cross the road, or giving the seat in the bus to an elderly person, or a pregnant mother, or a sick person, or a woman. Charity makes a life bountiful. Charity protects your wealth. Charity protects yourself. Charity raises your status and dignity. Charity brings you in direct contact with God. Charity answers your prayers. You could go on adding the merits of charity. They are continuous. These acts, done with commitment and a vow, will help you to build character, purify life, and strengthen willpower that will transform attitudes from worse to good. This will help to decrease crimes and corruption and pave the way towards good governance. It will help one towards self-realization. All these things should be at a practical level and not at a level of knowledge. Knowledge is of no use if they cannot be put into practice. This practical aspect will come only if you have the right faith. This is what all religions teach us, and this is the concept of Anuvrat. Another point that needs to be addressed is the commitment of non-possession. Possession is the evil of all evils in the world. The more you develop the desire to accumulate, the more you become possessive. This will make your soul of the desire, this will weaken your soul of the desire in giving charity, whereby you lose love and compassion. This may also make you resort to violence and will not give you a heart to give in charity, will not give you a heart to give forgiveness. Truth will not have a big role to play, whereby dishonesty will rule your life and people will less trust you. Being obedient and submissive to the will of God will be far away from you, and the faithfulness to the faith of God will soon disappear. The end result would be a miserable life to the individual and peaceless one to most of us. In order to build a pleasant world, in order to live a peaceful life in this world and hereafter, let us all together commit ourselves to do small things, to make small vows in our daily, day-to-day life. It will work as vows. We can commit to be faithful to the faith of God, be obedient and submissive to the will of God, speak the truth at all times, even at the cost of our life, do the right thing, practice love and compassion, lead a life of forgiveness, lead a life of non-violence, give charity in abundance, not to be possessive, speak the decent language, not to take to intoxicants, respect the elders and spiritual leaders, not to take bribes and be engaged in corrupt activities, be honest, practice what you preach. This is very important. Any preaching without practice will not transform any soul. So we have to practice what you preach. Eat only what is needed and not waste food. Lead a simple living. Show respect to religions of others, opinions of others. Be faithful to your spouse and all others who show faith on you. If we can, in a small way, practice some of these things in our daily life, we will be able to see the vision of Anuvrat taking shape. This is the very thing the world needs today. Ladies and gentlemen, to start with these small vows, may we all who are present in this room make a vow, make a commit, at least when we are having our meals, not to drink bottled waters. There are enough water, purified water. India doesn't need bottled water.
Om Arham.
I have traveled in India about 15, 20 years ago, and I have seen people carrying bottles in the stations to fill their bottles. Today everybody carries bottled water. India doesn't need Coca-Cola or Fanta. Plenty of fruits are there. When did this culture come in? Let us make vow that at least from tomorrow we will not drink bottled water. That is how I think we can start this vow practically instantly. And to end my speech, I just finished reading a book called Don't Be Sad. After reading the book, I decided I will be sad, because I work on 3 points. First is a statement. The S starts there. My statement is, there is enough love in the world to share than the little hatred that is rare. To this statement, I would like to add an action, and that is deeds, not words. So I don't speak very much. I like to act. And to the word D, I have a dream. I like a tree where all kinds of birds can nest. Ladies and gentlemen, in Sri Lanka, I work to promote nonviolence all over the country for the last 10 years. We have established solid 30 non-violent societies all over the country. We want to cover the whole country by the next 2 years. We have 500 non-violent cadres, whom we call Novika. We have half the number of about 250 non-violent messengers, whom we call Novim. And we have 12 nomads, non-violent action team, that consists of all religious leaders. We do training on non-violence, and we form these societies. In this exercise, we discovered that the knowledge we have about nonviolence based on religion, because we base it on all religion, is not enough. So we recently started an exercise in all districts of Sri Lanka to have a 2-day workshop consisting of all religious leaders to explore the teachings of nonviolence in all religions. At the end of the exercise, we have to cover another about 15 districts. We hope to bring out a document that we can use in our training, that religious teachings of nonviolence are these according to your own faith. Thank you very much for having listened to me patiently. Thank you.